Why, hello there. 2 DLCs were announced for Blasphemous 2 coming out on October 31st, a paid Mea Culpa DLC and a free True Torment update. You can find more details about these DLCs by pausing to look at this official graphic, as well as the video linked above and in the description below. Amongst the many exciting changes and added features between these DLCs, the most exciting additions for me have their roots in Blasphemous 1. New Game Plus called True Torment Mode, and the addition of the Mea Culpa, the Guilty Blade. While True Torment Mode and the Mea Culpa got their start in Blasphemous 1, they won't simply function the same way in Blasphemous 2. Blasphemous 2 changed up the formula from the first game in some big ways, and this additional game mode and weapon will almost certainly need to change as well. In this video, I'm using the mechanics of True Torment Mode and the Mea Culpa from the first game to speculate about what will stay the same with them and what will change. Let's get into it. In Blasphemous 1, upon completing the game with any ending, you would have the option in the menu to ascend the file to True Torment Mode. If True Torment Mode works the same in Blasphemous 2, here are what items and skills I think Penitente will retain going into New Game Plus. All prayers, quick verses, and chants, all weapons including weapon levels and abilities, all rosary beads, and all altar pieces, and this includes the 4 envoy altar pieces that get destroyed when you get the incense of the envoys for ending A in Blasphemous 2, and I think that they will be restored when you start the New Game Plus. If True Torment Mode works the same in Blasphemous 2, here are what items and skills I think will be reset going into New Game Plus. All cherubs and the Kobihadas, meaning that all of the pre-do upgrades will also be reset, flask upgrades, fervor upgrades, health upgrades, rosary knot upgrades, altar piece slots, and all key items including the 3 regrets and 5 doves. In Blasphemous 1, already acquired items would instead provide you with 500 Tears of Atonement when you pick them up in the game, and I think there will be something similar in Blasphemous 2. In Blasphemous 1, the Tears of Atonement reset when you started True Torment Mode, and I think that the Tears and Marks of Martyrdom will be reset for Blasphemous 2's True Torment Mode. In Blasphemous 1, when you started True Torment Mode, you would also get to select a penitence near the beginning of the run, which would modify the game in some significant ways. For Blasphemous 2, we've learned from the Steam page and publisher Team 17's website that True Torment Mode will be a totally customizable and tiered experience with unlockable rewards. Seems like this is what the 3 penitences are rolled into from Blasphemous 1. Broadly, we know that there will be some way to customize the difficulty of the experience, with difficulty modifiers of different tiers, and there will be rewards for taking particular modifiers or tiers of modifiers. This is speculation, but I think this could be groupings of modifiers to form Blasphemous 2 versions of the penitences from Blasphemous 1. Alternatively, it could also be that taking particular modifiers or certain numbers of modifiers from a particular tier grants a reward. Overall, it seems like they're adding more flexibility to the experience, with rewards for making it harder. Modifiers that have been officially confirmed for the True Torment Mode are stronger enemies, deadlier spikes, and lethal falls. Using the Blasphemous 1 penitences as a basis, I'm predicting that these might be some additional modifiers. Using the Bleeding Heart penitence as a precedent, there may be a modifier to convert health to pips, with each hit removing 1 pip. This modifier would also probably modify the Bile Flask system to immediately heal 1 pip and then refill additional pips over time. And in addition, I think that rosary beads and other things that give elemental or physical damage resistances wouldn't have any effect with this modifier on. Using the Unwavering Faith penitence as a precedent, there may be a modifier to make melee attacks weaker, and this could also cause fervor to regen over time instead of just when you're gaining fervor by attacking. Using the True Guilt penitence as a precedent, there may be modifiers where you drop Tears of Atonement at a guilt fragment when you die, and then lose all these tears if you die again, Souls style. There may be a modifier to make enemies respawn with every screen, and there could also be a modifier to make Bile Flasks restore fervor instead of health. This is just some speculation based off of what we saw in Blasphemous 1, but what difficulty modifiers would you like to see? Let me know in the comments. In Blasphemous 1, you were rewarded with special rosary beads for completing the game with a penitence activated. I think we're likely to get special altarpiece figures for completing certain tiers, and possibly special prayers or beads as well, depending on how involved the system gets. With True Torment mode discussed, let's talk about how Mea Culpa will function as a fourth weapon in Blasphemous 2. Mea Culpa was the sole weapon in Blasphemous 1, and it did a little bit of everything that would end up being split among the 3 weapons in the sequel. It could parry and counterattack, it could lunge, it could do a plunging attack, a charge attack, and it could also throw blood as a projectile. We see these elements divided amongst the weapons in Blasphemous 2 and the ranged attack converted into a prayer. When it comes to Mea Culpa in Blasphemous 2, I see broadly 2 paths that the design could take. The first is that the Mea Culpa functions similarly to how it does in Blasphemous 1, thereby acting as an embodiment of the other 3 weapons. Its moveset would include the plunging attack, lunge, parry, and charged attack. In this case, it could potentially also ring the Veredicto bells and use the Sarmiento and Centella mirrors. I see this approach as Mea Culpa becoming more of a New Game Plus super weapon that consolidates the various powers to kind of give you the Blasphemous 1 experience in the sequel. This doesn't feel as likely to me because this wouldn't be giving us much new, and reconsolidating the weapons into one would effectively reduce variety, the opposite of the appeal of adding a new weapon, especially in the scenario where it can do the abilities of other weapons, as this would break the challenge and satisfaction of many platforming elements. I think in this scenario, this familiar moveset could be combined with a unique gimmick or mechanic that makes it a more novel experience, but I think this is less likely than the other path I see Mea Culpa taking in the DLC. And that is Mea Culpa taking on a unique role and having only minor overlap with its Blasphemous 1 moveset. This feels more likely and quite frankly more interesting. We already have the light Sarmiento and Centella, the medium Ruega al Alba, and the heavy Veredicto, and they all have unique movesets and mechanics to add further variety. My prediction is that, to maintain the balance between the existing weapons, that Mea Culpa will focus on a more unique and potentially trickier to master moveset and mechanics to encourage a unique playstyle. In the Blasphemous 2 dev diaries, a cut 4th weapon is mentioned, a greatsword. This could be the route they go with Mea Culpa, but lead animator Raul Vivar mentions in the video that the cut weapon used the same moveset as Veredicto and that it destroyed the balance between weapons. This reinforces that the Game Kitchen are interested in not upsetting the balance between weapons, making it less likely that Mea Culpa will be a continuation of this design. And if it is, then it's likely heavily redesigned from what was originally conceived of and scrapped. I'm just spitballing here, but being the guilty blade, it could do something with guilt level, something that's only touched upon a bit in the base game. This would give it a foundation in the base game to start from and could have special resonances with the altarpieces that deal with guilt that are currently in the game. They could also maybe be doing something in which you could combo with weapons or prayers in an interesting way. Again, this would naturally lend itself towards some resonances with altarpieces that are currently in the game. We get a small hint of the Mea Culpa's power in this image, in which we see an arc of energy being released from Mea Culpa mid-air. There's not really enough to go on here, it's just nice to see the Mea Culpa back in action. So you've heard of a few of my predictions for Mea Culpa, but how do you think that the Mea Culpa will work as a 4th weapon in the DLC? Let me know in the comments. And there you have it, some predictions about how True Torment mode and the Mea Culpa will function in the upcoming Blasphemous 2 DLCs. While these are 2 of the biggest additions to Blasphemous 2 this month, there is a ton of stuff being added and I can't wait to dig into it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more Blasphemous content, and leave a comment with your speculation about the DLC. Thanks for watching.